Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to finish off with talking about what a function is. I just sort of printed these off so I could use them, and I have to be honest with you, I have no interest at all about what this says up here, so you can totally forget about that. We want a definition for a relation, and a relation for us in this course is going to be any ordered pair. So, and in mathematics, we're going to be talking about numbers in this case. So, generally, if we talk about an ordered pair, we're thinking about x comma y, but it could be any ordered pair of two pieces of information. A mapping diagram, I'm not terribly sure why this is here. A mapping diagram is simply a picture of an ordered pair. It's a way of showing an ordered pair. So why don't we say a mapping diagram is a visual representation of a relation. Now, it's not the only visual representation of a relation, so is a graph. But a mapping will look like this. They'll have a group of numbers on one side. So if I wanted to show 2 comma 5, that's an ordered pair. In a mapping notation, you would have this. As a mapping diagram, it would look like 2 maps onto 5. And if I wanted to show -1 maps onto 3, you would put -1 and you would show a little arrow maps onto 3. They're very interesting and all, and we will talk about them. Just not terribly sure why we need a definition of it right here. A function. A function is a relation, so it's a relation first of all, and it's a special type of relation where every value of x, so every value of x has only one value of y. So it's a special type of relation where each value of x has only one value of y. So see this? This has only one value of y. This has only one value of y. If I had another number in here, maybe 7, and 2 went to both 5 and 7, well, that's no longer only one value of y. 2 goes to 5, 2 goes to 7. That would not be a function. It would still be a relation, but it would not be a function. So a vertical line test. Well, a vertical line test, again, is a visual way, a visual test for a function. And the idea is that if the vertical line touches the graph at more than one point anywhere for the entire graph, then it's not a function because it's going to have two different y values. So I think better than writing out a definition for that is let's take an example. So here is a relation, y equals x squared. Here it is right here. And here is another one, x squared equals, or y squared equals x. One's a parabola and the other one is not. It's on its side. We don't call those parabolas. So if we take an idea of a vertical line, so I'm just going to draw a vertical line here. There's my vertical line. And I'm going to have that vertical line move across this graph. So it's going to like move all the way across. And I'm going to draw it here. And I'm going to draw it again over here. And we could imagine that the vertical line would continue off the page. So that vertical line is actually moving this way across that entire graph. Let's consider the same idea over here. There's my vertical line, and it's going to start moving all the way across this graph. Now, notice that as the vertical line crosses this one, for every value of x, there's only one value of y. In other words, the vertical line only touches the graph at one spot all the way through. So no matter where the vertical line is, the vertical line only touches this graph at one spot for any given value of x. That's not true over here. Look at this vertical line. This vertical line is touching the graph at 2 points for this value of x. It's touching it at 2 points for this value of x. It's touching it at 2 points for this value of x. It's only touching it at 1 point for that value of x, but for all these others, it's touching at 2 points. If the vertical line touches the graph at 2 points anywhere, that means that there's at least one value of x that has two values of y, just like this 2 had the value of y of 7 and the value of y of 5. This value of x has two different values of y. This is not a function. Not a function. This one, however, since the vertical line only touches it at 1 point all the way through the entire thing, this is a function. And we're just basically going to do that a bunch of times. So let's look over here. We've got a line given by this equation. Take a vertical line and pretend that it's cutting through this curve everywhere. Notice it only hits the curve at 1 point. Compare that to this circle over here. This vertical line is going to touch it at least 2 points. Okay? So this one is a function. This one is not a function. And if anyone asks you why, you say because there's a value of x for which I get two different y values. So down here, y equals x squared. So if y equals x squared, this will be 4, this will be 1, this will be 0, this will be 1, this will be 2. Each value of x only has one value of y. This is a function. This one's different. This is y squared equals x. What that means is whatever I square for y will equal x. So 0 squared gives me x. 1 squared gives me 1, but so does -1. -1 squared gives me 1. 2 squared gives me 4, but so does -2. 3 and -3, 4 and -4. Each value of x other than 0 has two values of y associated to it. That is not a function. It is a relation, but it's not a function. So here are some mapping diagrams. Let's take a look at them. 0 goes to 0, 1 goes to -1, 1 goes to 2. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Danger, danger. Not a function. -2 goes to 7, -1 goes to 6, 0 goes to 5. Yes, is a function. Another mapping diagram. 1 goes to 6, 2 goes to 6. Yes, 6 has two x values, but each of my x values only has one y values, so yes, this is a function. The definition of a function is that each x only has one y, not that each y only has one x. That's different. 0 to 0, 1 to 4, 2 to 6, 3 to 6, 4 to 4, 5 to 0. This is a function. Danger, 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 Will Robinson. There's my vertical line test. It's crossing here, 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 all for this one value of x. That not be a function. And I think that finishes our work for functions and relations. I'll come back with a video on domain and range.